Okay, cool. So welcome to Habitat Issue Triage, the week of April 2nd. Today is April 3rd. And so we're going to be going through some Habitat issues. I am going to share my screen. Oops, did that work? Hold on. Oh, I had to actually click the share button. All right, I am screen sharing. Okay, so we're gonna be, here, I'm gonna take this link. Oh, well, that's not a public link, so we'll just be following along here. So we're gonna be going through the needs triage column, just from top to bottom here. Let's go to this first one. Okay, so this is a feature request, synchronous flag for HAB service start stop. This is issue 2680. I'll give people a couple minutes to look this over.
This one seems really old. Did you happen to sort the triage?
Oh, July 5th of 2017. Yeah, I'm also looking at this thinking, I think what Jamie's working on is going to pretty much address this. But yeah, let me...
There's a little gear icon in the needs triage column. Yeah. And then sort, yeah. Newest,
yeah.
Up a little. There you go.
Okay. All right. 4 days ago is better.
Yeah, that feels better.
Yep, definitely.
I mean, not awesome, but better.
Not that, I mean, those are good times. July of 2017, with 4th of July and everything. But anyways, okay, so we're going to be looking at automate README generation for core plans. Oh, yes, this is fresh in my mind. This is issue 1303. So this is basically, we currently are requiring READMEs, which we didn't used to, for all the core plans, which means there's a ton of core plans that don't have READMEs, and we basically need to backfill those READMEs, which, as you can imagine, is a labor-intensive process. So this issue is about automating that process. I don't think this is a controversy.
CM did this already, didn't he?
Yeah, CM did this, but I'm just looking at the PR to see if we also have a tool as part of his commit that did the README generation. So if this comes up again for some reason, but most of the intent of this work is done.
Okay, I'm going to close that.
So yeah, it's probably fine.
All right. Okay. Oh, I have to resort.
Lost your sword.
Oh, I guess I probably shouldn't have used my back button. Okay. Sentinel should perform checklist for core plans. Not sure if we have anything to add to this. So basically, this is so we have a number of checks or requirements that we want our core plans to have, and so this is basically an attempt to automate that as part of the GitHub flow, essentially. This was just submitted, so I don't think there's really at this point anything to add, and I don't think that there's any, unless anybody on the call thinks otherwise. I don't think there's any lack of clarity here, but it hasn't been prioritized yet. Which I guess we could.
Well, the one thing I'll add to this one, Matt, is I think I put in a link to that contributing README file that kind of walks through what all those requirements are. We're doing this manually right now, and I did notice there's maybe even a couple of inconsistencies that might be ambiguous. So just having a tool that just plows through that will save us a lot of time.
Yeah, totally. Let's see. So this is definitely not a help. Where are those? Isn't there like a section for like help wanted? And oh, here we go. Okay. Maybe I'm. So do we just typically leave? Do we just typically leave the labels? It seems like I remember in past triages, we would add a label as to whether or not we want to help. I don't see those other labels. I can't remember off the top of my head what those labels.
It's possible. It's possible that those are not on that repo or got removed from the repo. But I think that we've got them in the Habitat repo. Pretty sure.
Okay. We'll just leave this as is for now, unless anybody has a better ideas.
Let me see 1 second. I got distracted. I'm trying to pull up the repo with the labels in it.
Okay, and I added a link in there in the comments for the bigger list.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, it should be under the T subsection of the labels for help wanted.
Yeah, but this wouldn't be a help wanted. This is something that we would do on our own. I'm trying to remember what those other labels.
Yeah, we got rid of most of those. So everything everything once it's triage goes into the backlog. If it's something that we're not going to do ourselves, then we will label it with the help wanted label. Otherwise, like I just always try to get the vertical label, which is who would realistically handle that effort, what area of the code base it's in, whether or not it's a chore. If you have an idea of how much effort is involved, an effort label. If you know what language it's going to be, the language label, and then the only other thing is like the priority. If it's a regular priority, then it's a P3.
Okay, yeah, so I'd say this is regular priority. I don't know. I'm not familiar enough with Sentinels to know which language it's going to be in.
I think it's Ruby. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Ruby.
And I'm assuming this is less easy, but not hard. But I've never done any work with the Sentinels, and I'm not totally familiar with the checklist. I'm just going to mark if anybody thinks otherwise.
It's less easy. It's
okay.
Not that hard.
Cool. All right, I think that's all we need there. And oh, I guess here is where I say it's been triaged. Whoa.
You want that gear one up there? It's and then you just pick backlog.
Oh, I see. Okay, got it. All right.
So I wonder. So just a quick thought on this. Sorry, I was like juggling too many things at once. So right now, Travis is doing a bunch of this. I'm wondering if we shouldn't just try to get the rest of the stuff kind of natively in Travis rather than using the Sentinels. That might be a little less overhead. Would just be probably a couple different shell scripts as opposed to having to modify the bot, which might be easier.
Personally, I think that would be easier. It's also like to me personally, like when things go into the Sentinels, that's always kind of like this magical, the magical realm, so to speak. Like I don't really know what's going on inside. That's just me personally. But like Travis, I know at least where to look.
Right. Just to clarify, Sentinels was probably the wrong choice of words. It should have just been automate, and then the implementation is up to the implementer.
Yeah, I've been in the Sentinels code base before, and I do think Travis is easier.
Great.
Yeah. We can let's reword now. How do I find that? Let's see. Search Sentinels. Oh, it was there.
Why don't you go ahead, keep going with triage? I'll fix it for you, man.
Oh no, here we go. Right.
Or you got it. I guess you got it.
Dang, where's the edit button? Oh, here we go. It's up here. Sorry, I'm so used to GitHub. It's like, oh wait, no, that's not editing the. Okay, I'll let you do it.
Okay, yeah, I'll take care of it.
Sounds like a great idea. Okay. Moving on to Habitat picks up keys of wrong origin. Certainly sounds important. And this was March 30th of 2018. I commented on this. Oh, interesting. Oh, yes, that's right. I went through this yesterday. So I'll give people just a minute to read this. It's I mean, it's hard to know for sure what's going on here. I tried to ask some clarifying questions down here. It could be that I mean, as far as I know, nothing is broken here, though. I certainly wouldn't rule that out. But one thing that I've seen before is people, you know, if you put the wrong origin in the plan, you know, it could possibly get built under the wrong origin, but just kind of double checking to make sure that, you know, the plans are connected right. But it's hard to tell from this description, at least to me it is, exactly what might be happening. It might even be helpful if this person gave us an excerpt of the error message to kind of pinpoint where the issue might be. I'm gonna I just responded to this like yesterday, you know, late afternoon my time. So we'll give him some more time, give this person some more time to respond. Okay. Package does not build anymore. Okay, well that seems pretty straightforward. So Jerry 9, package does not build anymore, has no dependencies. Add dependency. So okay, I guess that's something that and as part of the goalie rotation actually is probably something that we want to look at. I'm gonna, let's see. Backlog. And let's see. Oops. Core plans. Sure, this is, I'm not gonna give it it's probably easy, but I just don't know without looking at it. Linux. Shell. Okay. All right. Ruby 25, bundler 0.16.1 will break with fix interpreter. Give people a couple minutes to look at this. Just scroll down and see what's, okay. Oh, he's already opened the pull request. Okay. Oh, upstream. All right. Bundler. Okay. If there's any. Oh, nothing yet, but that's. Oh, long ago. Okay, so it looks like this is something that would just affect all plans that take a dependency on this. He's got a pull request against bundler that would fix, but in the meanwhile, the only way to really fix this is to go through all the core plans. It seems to me that we should at least allow before going through and changing all the core plan. Like, I don't think that the answer is necessarily to pin. Probably the number 2 would probably be the better of the fixes. But rather than going through every single plan and doing this workaround, maybe we should give this a little bit more time to elicit response in the bundler repo.
Regardless, though, it does kind of seem like something we want to do, right? Like resolve this somehow.
Yeah.
So
I think so.
maybe
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe it just seems like the method of resolution, though. I mean, I guess it's okay to add this to all the we just have to find all the Ruby plans. I'm just wondering if there's something in the fix and chirp. Well, no, we couldn't really. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, things are going to break. We just don't know what else is going to break.
Yeah.
So, I would say, is my microphone sound all messed up, by the way?
Not really. It's not too bad.
Yeah, it sounds fine.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just getting like weird feedback, and I don't know if it's my stupid headset or if it's the microphone. So I would say, like, if we're thinking about this from the perspective of distro maintenance and how you would handle a distro-based package, typically what you would do is you would patch locally for the thing that you need for your distribution, right? Like, unless it's something that's a bug that would affect other distros, at that point, then we put in the PR upstream. But if it's not a bug and it's just our implementation, then we have to account for that, I think, in our code. It's not great, but I think philosophically that's the line that's where I would end up on it.
Yeah, I would agree. If it's something in our implementation, I probably just need to read this closer. But in the meantime, I'll just let's see. This would be not studio plan build. Maybe I'll just start with there. Let's say bug. Let's say less easy, though could be different. Right now we only have Ruby on Linux. Shell, but maybe Rust. A3. All right. Oh, oops. Okay. All right. So you have to hit the back button to go, which undoes the sorting. That's weird. Oh, well. Okay. Oh, this looks like the same. JRE 8 package is not built anymore. Okay, it's the exact same thing as JRE 9. So we'll just backlog. Where's the bug, or did he already mark his bug? That's probably, guess, maybe. Okay, come on, there we go. Oops. All right. What's that? Okay. Image build is currently failing. All right. This looks like the same category. I'm just going to keep the labels as is. All right.
This is not a builder issue. I think the vBuilder isn't quite right.
Oh,
so there's not a vertical for core plan specifically.
There is. Oh, I guess there isn't. Yeah.
I didn't see one.
It's
right.
We've been using Builder for it.
Builder for it, okay, and then maybe when you do the vertical prioritization, you filter on core plans or something.
Yeah, we should create a new vertical.
Probably, yeah, I would say so.
I think it's just get to be confusing.
Cool, I'll do that.
That'd be awesome. Thanks.
all right. Oh. Okay, and package build fails on builder. Okay. Okay, we'll just move this. Oh. All right, we'll keep those. Unable to export private. Okay, so this I know I've experienced this, and this seems like a bug to me. And anybody else can chime in if they think otherwise. But so basically, the deal is if you have a package that you want to export, and you either haven't yet uploaded it to the depot or don't plan to upload it to the depot because it's private, like in this case, and but you've installed it locally, and you do a export of that package, it'll bail out saying, you know, it can't build because it can't find the package in the depot. But the workaround, like what I've used to get around this, but it seems awkward that you have to use this workaround, is basically you rather than target the installed package, so rather than using the origin / package name, instead you target the heart file. So give it export it and point to the path of the heart file, and that works. Which seems odd. It just seems like it should work if you use the origin / package. And oh, was somebody going to say something?
With Fletcher's latest change, I think this will work, because he's made a bunch of changes to respect the locally installed packages a lot more than they used to be.
Okay,
so they don't no longer have to be in the depot.
Okay, cool. Has that been published yet, or is that?
I don't think it's been published yet. It's in probably 56 right now.
All right. Okay.
But we can put a note in here to confirm that it does indeed fix it.
You know what? I'm gonna assign this to myself because it would actually be easy for me to test this because I have some packages that I could very easily test that change on. So.
Great.
I'll move. Oh gosh, why do I keep want it? I just want to click that up arrow so badly. And I do click it, but it doesn't do anything. Let's see. So I'm gonna put this, I guess. I'll put it, I mean, I don't think I have to do any development per se, but I'm on it. Oh, damn it. It just happened. Okay. All right. Hopefully that just sent it off. I don't know why.
I'll double check.
Okay. Unable to authenticate. Okay. Yeah, I remember looking at this one too yesterday. So this is weird to me. So basically what he's saying is he's got his Docker repository. It can't authenticate against his Docker repository. I know, I mean unless something's changed recently, I haven't used Builter against anything that I have in a Docker repository super recently. But this is the only report on this that we've heard so far. The thing in my mind that I put in my response, because just something that I could see possibly mucking with this, though I'm not familiar enough with the code to know if this would for sure be a problem, is if maybe he's got maybe some quotes or escape characters in his password that we're not properly handling. I mean, it's kind of it's kind of a shot in the dark. But it was the only thing I could. It's the only thing I could think of, without spelunking into the code. So unless anybody here thinks that we might have a bug, I could think of a recent change that hit this, or can think of somebody else that's complained of the same thing somewhere else. I just responded to this like yesterday afternoon, so I'm tempted to just kind of leave this out there and give them a little time to respond.
That sounds good to me too.
Okay. Okay, unable to upload secrets from the same named origin. Oh, this is Chris.
Yeah, so let me refresh my memory on this one.
What is this? Okay, March 28th. Issue 351. Yeah, I'll give you a couple minutes.
Yes, okay.
Oh, so if you have multiple depots.
Yeah. So yeah, you hit this, and we handle this by, I think, we handle this transparently with signing keys by just looking at all of them. If you have multiples that match an origin, we'll find one that works and then use that. But like we only support. I don't. Elliot can probably speak somewhat to how this is implemented, but it's a pain. You don't know what's going on when it's happening. It's unexpected, and I think I made a note like we would probably improve the error messaging, but it seems like we should also just work with multiple depots for this, I think.
Yeah, I think my thought when I wrote this feature was that most people are only going to be interacting with the public depot or their private one, not both. And like we would be the ones experiencing this pain, and it could just be like a documentation thing. But
it seems easy, especially when you run a public service, you know what I mean?
Well, so, this is people with on-prem depots are going to hit this.
Yeah, totally.
Well, yeah, they're going to hit it if they ever talk to the public depot. Like if they ever have to upload a secret to the public depot, which I don't expect them to do, because they're using an on-prem depot. And this is only affecting things for the builder service. So like I didn't actually expect anyone. I mean, I guess I could see the use case for both, but I don't see it being. I see it being the outlier rather than the norm.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like at the very least, though, we should like put in some better messaging just to make it more clear as to.
Yeah, I can see the case. I can definitely see the case for better messaging. I can also see us doing something where we like delete your key on disk and try and re-download it, which would probably also solve the problem.
Yeah, I mean, since you're always downloading it anyway, you could just always delete before download, you know.
Yeah, or just if you hit an error, delete the key and try again.
Yeah.
Well, or you could just check the latest version of the key and then specifically ask for that version.
Well, there's only ever one version. You can only ever have one encryption key.
Right, on per depot, right? But I'm saying
Right,
from
per
the client
depot.
side, you can ask the depot, hey, what's your latest encryption key version? And then when you ask for the key during the encryption process on the client, you ask for a key pair with that version.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
way you don't have to delete stuff. I'm a little bit reluctant to delete things as and then the keys
Where's
go
your sense of adventure?
Yeah, I mean, I just, yeah, this seems like it's so easy to hit. I mean, if we didn't have a public builder service, then, you know, this would be not as big an issue. It would probably be only an issue for large organizations that are running multiple depots. But, you know, it seems very likely that, you know, we have, you know, demos and things that encourage people to use them as they learn Habitat and so on. It's just going to be super easy for people to hit this. And
yeah, it's an easy fix. We should just do it.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay, I'll say. Oh, yes. Right for the gear. That all looks right. Okay. Okay. Next. Current code does not redirect as expected. Redirect. Let's see. After reviewing. Oh, I see. Okay, so something that the Nginx plan is supposed to be doing with in regards to redirecting requests isn't working. All right. Oh, looks like there's quite a bit of discussion here. Where did this leave off? Oh, I wonder if he actually.
Oh, maybe it's fixed.
Yeah, that was March 29th. Okay, so at least there's a. I looked through PRs yesterday. I didn't see anything
It's
open, but.
looks like it's in master.
Oh, like it's already been merged? Oh, maybe this is.
Looks like it.
Oh, here we go. Okay, so this was 1304. All right, so we can close this, looks like.
Yep.
Right. Yay. Okay. Here's an interesting one. Chris. Add hab config diff subcommand. You want to talk about that, Chris?
Well, yeah, just in the description, I lay it out, but like the way that we do config applies now, we just sort of hand it a string and just, you know, cross your fingers and hope it works out okay. And it would be nice to be able to sort of, you know,
like a dry run,
like a dry run, right? Like if you've probably used knife diff, where you can be like, I'm about to upload this thing. How's it going to change what's already there? Just to have that moment of like, is this saying what I'm about to do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because otherwise there's not really I don't think there's a way to really check that, you know, short of maybe making an API call and looking at it manually, you know what I mean? So just like having a diff, I think would be really nice. That's all.
Yeah, it's got a lot of plus ones, it looks like. And I think the other thing is that there's also another one missing. There should be a hab config show that just shows you.
Yeah.
I was confused by this.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a hab soup config, I think, which I don't know if it completely works the way it's intended, but or something like this. Yeah, tell me what the current config is. I think if that isn't the thing, whatever the right thing is, I agree totally. That would be very nice.
Yeah, I think the best
Yeah,
you can do now is hit the API, hit the REST API, and
yep,
which is really awkward. Okay, so we will move this backlog. This looks like the remain. All right. Okay, add additional GitHub auto rebuilds channel workflows. Let's see, as a user, how when. So it looks my take on this is we need a little bit more internal triage on this before just moving to the backlog.
Yep, there's two different things here.
Yeah,
probably two different implementations.
Okay. I'm just going to leave this here for now.
Is there needs discussion?
Oh, yep, there's a needs discussion label.
Oh, okay, cool. Ah, there you go. Awesome. Handlebars sub-expression report. Ooh, fancy. Habitat does not support sub-expressions in handlebars. Okay. Oh, interesting. And just trying to think how you might. I wonder, like, I mean, this is just a workaround, but I guess today you could have the lookup on the outside and then put your, well, I don't know. I don't know if that would work.
I think I have an example of this somewhere from an onsite that I did. But I think the expected, like, if you go look at the handlebars docs, like what they're saying is this is the expected behavior and we don't provide it.
Yeah. Yeah, that, I mean, I could definitely see the virtue of adding this. I'm hesitant. I guess we could put it in help wanted. I'm not sure how quickly we would pick this up. Let's see. Oh, it's not looking for O labels. Now, if we put something in help wanted, do we still move it into the backlog?
Yep. Yeah, everything goes into the backlog now.
Okay. All right. Does that sound cool to everyone? Just to put this in help. I mean, it seems like a good thing, but not.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff going on right now. It's hard to. It's not super.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's the kind of thing that we would accept a PR for, then it should go in the backlog. Otherwise, it should get closed.
Okay. Absolute force cannot remove all binds. Binds from service. People a couple minutes to look this over. This is 4821. Oh, I see. I don't recall. I didn't know there was a force argument, actually. Let's see.
Yeah, there is.
What's force supposed to do?
It's supposed so if a service is already loaded, it will basically force the supervisor to exit with 0 instead of 3 or whatever it exits with if a service is already loaded.
Okay. So basically, it tries to do like a graceful reloading of the service.
I don't think it tries to do a reload. I think it just says like load. Oh, you're already loaded. Normal path is failed. With force, it passes.
Okay.
But it doesn't reload. And I think the behavior that they're looking for here is force basically is like a load or reload.
Yeah, so like he's saying it should clear out all the binds. I mean, you would do a hab soup load against a particular package, right? This is just an abbreviated command I'm assuming that he has here. And it would basically the expected behavior would be that it would essentially totally reset itself, I'm assuming.
Yeah, if it had binds before and you force loaded it without binds this time, that it would remove those binds.
Yeah, I think that's totally let's see. That would be a supervisor. And I'm gonna actually make that a bug because that just seems pretty straightforward. I'm gonna say less easy for now. Not really platform specific. It's Rust. All right. Okay. So we have 8 more minutes here. Okay, HabSup does not report update strategy. Okay, this seems pretty clear, and that would be pretty useful, and also seems like it would be pretty straightforward to add. My personal inclination would be to move this into help wanted, like it's something that we would totally take, but might not be something that gets prioritized by us right off the bat. Gonna go ahead and do that unless anyone has an objection. Where are you? I know you're here. Hide. Wanted. Oh.
It's under the T's. Yeah.
The old search. All right. Okay. Looks like John Cowie's on a roll here. Make it easier to run HabSup in a non-systemd environment. HabSup to run as a service on an environment without systemd is tricky. Yeah, you basically have to do essentially the exact same thing that we do in the studio right now, which is run in the background, which doesn't seem that difficult, but it's also not that intuitive either.
Would that be the kind of thing? What would be the standard way to do that if it isn't just no hub?
You could have a daemonize flag.
Yeah, a flag that basically does the same thing.
Yeah,
that might be nice.
Yeah.
Question is, how much of a priority is this, right?
Not much. I think this is probably my guess would this be another help wanted issue. So I'll put it in help wanted unless anybody.
Well, I think there's another question. Do we want multiple ways? I mean, the question is, what do we want do we want to do this? Do we want to have different ways? Because right now with on-prem, like we're saying we're standardizing on systemd, and most of our usage is with systemd. So do we want to open this gate?
Right. We don't want to create unwanted confusion.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's totally, yeah.
I mean, having a flag for daemonizing a thread like that is pretty common practice in Linux, Unix land. Like if you're talking about a long running service, having a daemonized flag is pretty much like a bog standard behavior. So it's not something that we necessarily need to prioritize, but I definitely would not turn down a PR to add daemonization natively. The other thing is like systemd mostly has won the init system, but there are still people out there that are using things other than systemd, and it might be a nice feature delighter for people who are like on old versions of Red Hat or something that's got some other init system.
Yeah, just out of curiosity, being a non-Linux as my original speaking language, is if we added a daemonized flag in the systemd unit, would you actually make use of that flag, or given the way systemd operates?
Well, you wouldn't necessarily use it with systemd, I don't think, because at that point you've already got it. You've already basically created a daemon from the thing. It just enables you to, like, if you're doing some other form of scripted configuration that you don't like, if you're using Upstart or some weird init system and you don't want to go through the process of like writing your own. I don't remember what they call those things, but into this init scripts, basically, you could just have your simple shell script that runs hab directly and then passes the daemonized flag and puts it all into the background with all logging handled and all of that. I don't know what it would look like implementation wise. I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Okay. All right, so come on. All right, have update services when the update strategy is set to none. Oh, that's interesting. Let's see. Oh, scroll bar is rather small, which means maybe there's, oh, whoa, that is a lot of output. Oh, nobody, okay, maybe this hasn't been looked at all yet, so we're not going to look at all that output today, but let's see. When changing the update strategy of a running, when it's running at once to none. This might actually be somewhat related to that no bind. Like I've just noticed this where sometimes things that you don't want to get persisted in that spec file, it's a little trickier than it really should be to get settings cleared out of there. Like, if I have something that's in the spec file that let's say I've stopped a service, the spec file is still there, and I restart the service and I add something like this, like an update strategy. I've noticed that like it just doesn't seem to honor. It just picks up, it sees like, oh, it's in the spec file, I'll just restart it, and it doesn't seem to. I haven't looked into it deeply, so I could be reading more into this than what's actually going on. But I think that's what's happening, is we're not updating that spec file. So I'm just gonna.
Yeah, I would say this one probably actually relates to the other one with force binds.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably in the same vein.
Yep. Okay. So I'm going to think this is supervisor. I think it's a bug. I'm just going to say less easy. It's always a safe bet. Rust. Okay. And then I'll just add a little note at the end here. Come on. Okay. Okay, it's 11:01. So I think we're we're up to a week ago, so that's good. We should have gotten pretty much everything that came in the last week, or almost that much. So I think we'll cut it here. And thank you very much, everybody, for joining this triage event.
Thanks, Matt.